Hi guys, it's Laura. It's been a while. I have been a little bit, I don't know if sick is the right word, but not feeling well for about a month, so I haven't really been doing a lot of these. I've just been taking my winter break to relax and recuperate. Basically, I just have been feeling really fatigued, like not even up to walking 8 minutes, and a little bit of stomach pain. So we're going up to the Cleveland Clinic to hopefully get it all figured out in about 2 weeks. Yay! But for right now, I wanted to talk about a question I got about probably a month ago now. And this person asked me if I could do a video on my life about a couple of weeks after I had surgery and where I was at mentally and what I thought about it. So I think I'll just start at the beginning, which is that I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis in 2010, pancolitis, so it was my entire colon. Um, I was on a double dose of Remicade, which is 10 milligrams per kilogram. I was on Imuran and 40 milligrams of steroids of prednisone, and I was still flaring. And I had been flaring for the 2 years. Ever since I was diagnosed, I was never in remission except for false remission due to IV steroids. So basically, the only option that we had left other than being part of a study was surgery. And I chose surgery because I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired. Um, so that was a tough decision just because they kind of said that surgery was inevitable to me, but they said, you know, you could live like you are now, which is not knowing if you're going to be in or out of the hospital, constantly in pain, going to the bathroom about 8 times a day on a good day. And I said, no way. Like, I'm 20 years old, 19 years old. I'm not going to do this for another year. I can't. I'm too tired. I'm too sick and in pain. So we went to the University of Chicago. I don't really remember being put under. It was early in the morning. I came out like 5 hours later, and I had a diverting ileostomy and my J pouch, but it was not connected yet. I remember waking up from surgery, which is really weird memory for me, where this nurse, I couldn't open my eyes, or I didn't open my eyes, and this nurse was saying, okay, just let me know when you're in pain and I'll push the button for you. And I remember like just moaning like, ow, and she would push the button, and like every 2 minutes that would be it. And then I remember being wheeled back. I don't remember a lot, but I made friends with the old man who was pushing me into my room, and I remember seeing my parents and going, parents, and so I just, you know, that's all I really remember. And then I woke up, felt great. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go on a walk, and I went on like 3 walks that night, which is ridiculous. And then went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night, puking, bile, and feeling like I'm gonna die. My heart was racing. I was having a hard time breathing, and all I really remember are nurses coming in and shoving an NG tube down my throat and saying, swallow, 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 because that helps swallow it down. I was put into the ICU for 3 days, and I woke up, kind of. I wasn't really aware of where I was going, where I was, but I do remember that I was like, what is this thing on my nose? So I start pulling it out, and the nurse is like, don't do that, no. And then I remember kind of passing out again, woke up. I was getting all these pricks all over my body. Turns out they were doing an arterial stick, and it took them an hour to find a good like artery because I was so dehydrated and so weak, and my arteries kept collapsing or whatever. I don't even know because I wasn't really aware of anything at the time. I got better, spent 19 days in the hospital. Um, the first time I really looked down and saw my ileostomy, I thought it was cool. I think I've told you guys that before. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. Look at that. I'm going to touch it. Like, because I'm pre-med, and I really find human anatomy fascinating. So, you know, I would ask the doctors what my anatomy looked like and if I could see like my different CAT scans and stuff like that. There were a couple struggles in the hospital. Definitely just feeling like this was never going to end because I had terrible gas pains. It just felt like everything was being thrown at me, and I got like, I don't want to be like too vivid, but like they had to pump me with water, and so they had to give me all this stuff to make me pee all the time. It's called a diuretic, and um, I just felt like it was never gonna end. I was a little bit scared to empty my ileostomy at first, but after the nurses did it a couple times, I asked them if I could try, and I guess I found it a little bit frustrating at first how often I had to empty my ileostomy, but the doctors told me, and they were right, that my body would get used to having not as much of a bowel, I guess, for food to be absorbed in. And I came home, and I remember feeling really, really overwhelmed and I still feel this way sometimes. Actually, that's a lie. I'm sorry. So I only feel this way when I'm not feeling well, which has been like the last month. So um, I think that the idea of needing to eat before you drink and always keep yourself hydrated, and even if you drink, you're not necessarily being hydrated, and also you need to make sure that you don't like strain a muscle because then you can get a hernia, and like I guess just the fact that I'm not as easy to take care of as a regular person really, really intimidated me. So what I did was I wrote down a food log, and I wrote down how many glasses of water I had a day, and so I made sure that it was 8 or more, but I made sure to eat something beforehand. I made sure to take my Imodium and my simethicone, or Gas-X, um, and so it got a little less overwhelming day by day, and every day I felt a little bit better. I did have a little hiccup, but I also had an abscess at the time because of surgery, and so I went back into the hospital and then came back out. And um, but 3 months after my surgery, I actually went to Arizona and hiked around with my parents with a drain in my butt, and um, yeah, so that was like really cool, and it kind of showed me that I can travel with my ileostomy. I can go hot places and not worry about being dehydrated. I can do physical activity. So I guess my anxieties lessened and lessened. Is that even? I don't know if that's right, but they got less um, with every experience that I had. So the more I did, the more I knew I could do, I guess. And so I stopped limiting myself with an ileostomy, and I'm like, wow, I can actually have a more normal life than I had beforehand with my colitis. So I guess I felt overwhelmed would be the biggest thing. Um, but you will learn to take care of yourself. You will learn what your body needs. You need to eat a lot more regularly. I feel like complete crap if I do not eat like once every couple hours, something substantial, because I think they said our transit time is something like 2 hours, and a normal person's is like 6 to 8 hours. So that may not be right because I was told that in the ICU, but I think it's around that. So anyways, we have a lot less time for things to absorb and to be in our system. So um, I guess I hope this helps. It's been over a year now, so it's hard to bring myself back there, and I find that when I do bring myself back to the hardest days, which definitely were in the ICU and the hospital following the ICU, it's almost like post-traumatic stress disorder that I find. I've been having a little bit more of a difficult time, I think, because it's been 1 year since I've had my ileostomy, and just thinking back to all the things that I actually had to go through, and the PICC lines and the NG tubes and the drain replaceal, and waking up in the middle of them putting my drain in, and all the CT scans and all the IVs that collapsed, and all the, it's when I think back to it, I'm like, how the hell did I get through that? And it's like almost like I don't even want to think about it, but I know I can't repress it, and I never want to lose the lessons that it's given me. But I guess in a way that might be kind of comforting, because looking back at it, I'm like, oh my God, how did I do that? Which means I'm so much better off now. So hang in there. It does get easier. I mean, it's not a perfect life, but it's a great one. And I hope this answered your question or helped a little bit. Sorry if this was rambly, but yeah, so if you have any other questions or if you're just interested in what they find at the Cleveland Clinic or what I'm doing to kind of try to find out what's wrong with me, please ask and I'll definitely make a video about it or just answer your question. Um, so I hope you guys are doing well and I hope you have a wonderful and healthy and happy new year. 2013 will hopefully be a better year for all of us. So, take care, guys. Bye.